You dumb, beautiful fucker.
Who wants to be in America's slash fic with Abraham Lincoln?
Louisiana Purchase, that's a name.
You need to really get off my balls, okay? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, why was Michelangelo so stinky? Ew.
Hello everyone, welcome to Non-Canon Files number 33. We're discussing Jujutsu Kaisen, and this will be a full spoiler discussion for this series. If you haven't seen it by now, that's okay, but just know we'll be talking about everything that happened in season 1 of the anime. But before we get any further, let me introduce my three cursed co-hosts.
It's Jujutsu Jonathan.
It's special grade Wenzel.
Grade 4 Colt. Yeah, I'm fucking strong.
No, you're weak.
I'm strong
That's
as
on
shit.
the weakest end.
Nah. I get taken down by a baby.
Okay.
The Colt is baby.
I'm the baby.
You are in fourth grade.
Well, I'm sorry, actually the Autodiothopus is now baby.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he's grade 1, I think.
If anybody in this room is grade 1, it's Otto.
Yeah, probably special grade. Can't tell.
But like we said, this is a full discussion of season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, we will say, John and I were pretty new to this series. We watched it on our anime review last year. Just like with many things, we just didn't get a chance to keep up with it. Tanner, Wenzel, and Colt, they were keeping up with it really well. They were super hyped about it. We'd actually started on our own individually, but then they're like, no, you can't watch any more of this. They hit us with the Jujutsu embargo.
Yeah.
And I was pissed because I was just getting to where it's picking up speed. I was in episode 4, and then just like hammering me. Nope, no more.
Yeah, because, at first it was me and Tanner. We were keeping up with it, like, pretty consistently. And then, we were talking about it so much we got, through peer pressure, Colt started to catch up with it. And then, like, closer towards the end of the season, we were like, you know what? We need to do a get-together and just watch all of it. And then, we were reminded that Pat and John haven't seen it. And we were like, oh, well, now they can't watch it until we get together.
Because it definitely took a few months for us to get going to that. But we finally were able to set aside some time and burn through this first season because we had a 2-day marathon of Jujutsu Kaisen's first season. And we are full of anime and we're full of chicken tendies.
Oh, yeah. I'm so fucking full. I ate way too many tenders. I'm going to die.
Yeah, I might have eaten too much as well.
I feel like my body just feels like grody because like I just have probably 25 chicken tenders in me.
I feel like I ate more the past 2 days than I have the entire week.
Yeah, I feel like because the first night when we watched the first 9 episodes of the season, my head was heavy because it was just like jam full of like jujitsu rules and like character names. And so I feel like I needed to go to bed to just mentally digest what I just saw.
And digest the food that we have consumed. I'm with Cole. It's also, it's been a while since I've been on an episode.
Yeah, welcome back, Wenzel.
Yeah, personal reasons couldn't be on them, so I'm back. And it's funny because when I was gone, I was in Florida. It feels like that. It feels like I have eaten so much in the past 2 days than I had when I was in Florida.
And you're on kind of in vacation mode a little bit, trying all these different foods and candies and stuff.
Yeah, might as well. I guess it's not like it's a big secret or anything. I had to go to 2 funerals down there in Florida, so that's why. And and while we were down there, we just decided to just try and do stuff because what else are we gonna do? So, but yeah, I bet it was a fucking huge just information bomb to you guys.
I will say that first part of the season we watched is more so front loaded with like introductions and like explanation of the rules of the powers and stuff. So I was kind of just like trying to keep track of everything. And like even in the second half, like it mellowed out because you're sort of you like it is, at that point you sort of learn the characters' names. And like I will say there was still a couple I had to like, okay, what's their name again?
Yeah,
I had the damnedest time remembering Kugisaki's name, the Hammer Girl.
Nobara, yeah. No, there's so many characters and so many different names, and that was what was so funny about Akutame, the mangaka, was that he got like so much backlash because of like he drew so many characters the same, and for the anime and for later in the manga they made sure to differentiate between the characters, but yeah, it's a lot, especially with the explanations for like techniques and stuff. And it's just so funny because right now what's happening in the manga, there's something that is literally, it's just nothing but pages and pages of explanation, and it's like I still haven't comprehended everything they just explained.
So they're pulling a Hunter x Hunter right there.
I was literally about to say there's definitely a very infamous point in the manga Hunter x Hunter where the powers get like very abstract and complicated, and there's one character specifically where there's like multiple pages explaining their powers.
I would say so because it's just multiple chapters of them explaining what's happening right now. It's like at first I was like, oh, this is confusing. The next chapter explains it a little more. It's like, okay. And then the next chapter after that explains it again. And it's like, fuck, I'm still lost. Like, god damn it.
Yeah, all the powers are like really abstract and esoteric, and I was kind of lost for the first like handful of episodes. I'm like, it's like I'm enjoying what's going on, but I have no fucking clue. It's like they're eating fingers, and this guy can just like not be touched or whatever.
And then like the whole bit with like the domains and the expansions and all that.
And I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I completely comprehend everything.
You know, that's fine because, well, I guess it could be me and Colt, but I guess it's also me. I am here to explain to you, any Jujutsu Kaisen fans who have watched just the anime and you're listening to this and you don't understand either, well, guess what? Me and Colt, and we're here for you.
I will say, I appreciate watching it with you because, holy shit, like... There were many times I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And Wenzel would like explain.
Yeah, we had like the Wenzel commentary
because like that's something like everybody says is like there's a lot happening, and I'm like totally get that, and I'm like sometimes it works to explain what's going on, you know, and I think that might improve the experience as well because there's just some stuff that like they're just so fucking vague about. Later on, though, it's funny. Later on, a lot of stuff gets explained, but certain things I'm just like, it's better to just explain it right now because you know it makes more sense.
Sub-translation wasn't completely accurate, right? For certain things.
Yeah, it's Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot of trouble in the past about their translations because the manga has gone through so many different translations because two of their translators were very, very problematic. Yeah, it's very dark, and so there's a lot of different stuff in there. And then, you know, me and Tanner were hyping up something in there that wasn't necessarily mistranslation. It was just a misunderstanding of what it actually is. Tanner can explain it better than me, and he's not fucking here right now.
What a fucking coward.
Because it involves math, and I'm like, I don't want to have to explain this because it's so fucking dumb.
Because Tanner is very much our numbered man, but he had a last minute thing come up, and he was going to be here with us.
Coward. I bet he's asleep right now in his car. He's not even left to drive.
He's not even driving. He's just asleep, and it's just going.
But yeah, because it was good to have Tanner with us for the watch along, but I mean it was just, you know, things happen. But it was funny. The end of the first night, everybody was going home. Tanner was sleeping like a fucking dead rock. Like we could not wake him up.
Like it literally took me like shaking him like like have y'all seen the movie Airplane?
Yeah.
Where it's
Yes.
like, get a hold of yourself.
And then it's a fucking line of people.
Yeah, we
about to-
basically had to do that to Tanner.
I was about to say, because we were kind of lined up, all ready to do stuff to him.
I
to
was
wake him up.
shaking him not super hard because like I don't want to hurt him.
Yeah, no, I thought like what you did was right, but then it's like he wasn't waking up, and then so Jonathan just had to step in and just shook him not violently, but shook him hard enough, and it was so funny.
And even then, he didn't wake up right away. It was silence, and then
It took a combination of me like yanking on
and
his
then-
shoulder and Pat yelling at
Well,
him.
no, and then John played a fucking loud ass song that was so ridiculous, and I'm just like, you know what, Tanner, I could understand if you're disoriented right now.
well, plus it's a funny bit because when Tanner came over for the second day of watching, like they were blasting the Nightcore version of Astronauts in the Ocean.
Oh yeah.
And like that's the first thing he hears when he walks into the house, and I'm like, that's got to be a sensory overload.
Meanwhile, fucking Colton Winslow are gaslighting me.
Yeah.
Why'd you want it to play
Why
so
did
much?
he want John?
No, I just no. We're not getting into this
Jonathan
right now.
loves Astronaut in the Ocean.
They
No, I-
they love it so much.
You love God, not THOTs.
That's an actual fucking lyric.
Yes.
doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Honestly, I didn't know he spelled thought until I saw the lyrics. I was thinking, what is GHOD? What does that mean?
If you're listening to this and you unironically love that song, I'm so sorry, but just
I'm so sorry, but you have terrible taste.
terrible taste. Like,
Well, and the thing is like the beat's not terrible, but like the lyrics are just fucking stupid.
400 million plays on Spotify.
it just seems like alternative stuff for fucking Christians.
Yeah, it seems like some bullshit that you'd have like a redneck.
It's like somebody.
Yeah.
It's like
We had to bring up that shitty song that turns me into a fucking boomer and
what
be
you
like,
know about
"Oh, music
rolling
today
down in the
sucks."
deep when your brain goes numb. You can call it mental freeze.
I feel like an astronaut in the ocean.
Yeah, I think we can say that without being like hit with a copyright, right?
Yeah, it's bad anyways. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you'd sing it off key.
Yeah. I mean, and like we
Oh,
could
I
be.
mean, there's not really a key to be off of.
And I mean, if they're like, "Hey, we hit you with like copyright," you can't say that. It's like, it's just any phrase, you know?
It's spoken word.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh yeah.
I feel like an Among Us in the ocean. Let's go, boys.
Sussy.
Where were we?
We were
Nowhere.
just. We hadn't really gotten started.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
we were.
Well, welcome to Non-Canon Files number 33, everybody. We're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen.
We were just talking about Tanner. Yeah, that's right. Because he needed to explain something that I have huge doubts that I can explain accurately. But
But that
I
hasn't
think I
happened
kind
in
of get
the-
it though.
in the in the series yet, anime wise. So like that won't really be part of the discussion. We'll be discussing primarily what happened in the first season.
Yeah.
So we're just like decompressing and just talking in spoiler terms about everything that's happened over the course of the first season.
Yeah, and
Yep.
we like literally just finished the episode 24, like what, maybe 20 minutes ago.
yep.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some very unprocessed thoughts here.
Yeah, there's not even like
I mean, granted, that's nothing new for us. But.
not even like a roadmap here, but yeah. So 7.5 hours of Jujutsu Kaisen today as we're recording, and then about 5 or so hours the day before.
We took so long watching just 8 or 9 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, granted, we spent like 2 hours watching meme videos.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised if it was that little.
But I mean, it was good shit
real.
though, and
It
we
was.
ate too. So it's all about the experience.
And plus, we got it done. So
Yeah, it's over now.
It just
And
took
it's
long
only
enough.
11:43 at night.
hey, we finished earlier than I thought we would.
I mean,
We did.
We did. It's not the first time too. We've like binged anime series before,
Yeah.
but nothing this long. I don't think.
And plus, it felt like like the old days when we would just like hang out at somebody's house and just like binge something. So it was good to sort of get back into like the usual swing of things.
Yes.
And like honestly, I'm not really a binge type person, but like so like watching this series all in one go more or less was like it's really fun, and plus like it's pretty fucking hype.
Yeah.
Which it's funny to me because as popular as the series is, I haven't really heard much about it outside of like The Boys.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Is
Yeah.
it? I know it's popular, but like it's not Demon Slayer or like Promised Neverland popular.
The only real person I've heard talk about it much was that guy from that channel, Mother's Basement.
I don't know.
On YouTube, he does pretty cool anime content.
Okay.
But he was just like, this show's fucking awesome as shit.
I mean, no, you're totally right, because, like, I remember when I first saw the cover, it got me sort of interested. Like, John has...
I'll get it pulled up.
They have it pulled up right now, and it reminded me, like, so yeah, that cover, I really liked it. And
Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen.
And then, I didn't hear anything about it until the anime got announced. I was like, okay, now I gotta watch it, gotta check it out. And then, like, it still kind of, like, remained low-key. And even now, it's, like, so many chapters deep in the manga, it's still very much, kind of whispered. Not whispered, but, like, it's very, not as much as talked about, like, My Hero, Boruto.
It's at least from what I can tell, still fairly under the radar.
Oh, yeah, and, like, the thing is like you said, it's hype. It's, like, it just only goes up from here. I will say, as soon as Chainsaw Man started making its runs, though, it was kind of overshadowed by that, and so many people compare it to Chainsaw Man because as soon as those two manga arrived, Shonen Jump was just changed, like, forever.
Stat-wise comparison, content-wise, they're nothing alike.
They're nothing alike, but the content is what changed it because they're completely different from regular shonen manga and anime. At first, Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't seem that way, but later down the line, it really differs from anything else, and then so does Chainsaw Man. Man's
Well, you know,
different.
Chainsaw Man is different from the rest of the Shonen Jump shonens, like, immediately.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I will say Jujutsu Kaisen, it's taken a bit because it still kind of feels like shonen. From what I've watched, and I've only watched up to 24.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like shonen, and we won't really get to the stuff that doesn't feel like regular shonen until maybe season 2. You're looking at probably season 3. But yeah, it's very much not talked about, and I remember when Tanner caught up with the manga just like me, I was just so excited because so much stuff happens, and but we're not talking about that. We're talking about season 1. What do you think, John?
Oh, wait. I thought it was pretty fucking great. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, like y'all were saying, there's some parts about it that are fairly shonen, and shonen as a genre is pretty tropey.
Tropes aren't bad as all how they're used.
Yeah.
Also, shonen doesn't mean it's bad. I love shonen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like watching anime characters fight each other. Like, call me basic, but it's fucking fun.
Yeah, and I mean, and when we use shonen, it just because, like John says, they use a lot of tropes.
And plus, shonen itself is a genre.
I mean, even character design, like, and sort of like character dynamics is like very big Naruto vibes.
Yeah, you got the 3 and the teacher.
Yeah,
which is in every
like
shonen.
when I saw like the promotional art, this was like the first thing I saw of the show, and I'm like, oh, bitch, that's fucking Kakashi.
Yeah.
Everybody compares Gojo to Kakashi.
It's just
even though they're like two completely different characters.
Completely different characters. With
got cool eyes.
Cool eyes,
Yeah, but like Naruto, this character is my favorite.
And also, Yuji has
like Kakashi in Naruto.
Yeah, and Yuji has a demon inside of him, much like Naruto has a
But
demon.
I mean that and that's also like
And he communicates
Bleach or,
it the same way Naruto.
I mean, so there's a lot that will seem similar to you if just like in your comparison, because like a lot of shonens overlap in terms of their like big tentpole structures.
Yeah, but I mean, it's tropes I like. Otherwise, I wouldn't be watching it.
Yeah.
Also, the fucking keyframes, key animation, and Sakuga for this shit is like some of the best I've seen.
It's busting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
If for nothing else, just watch like some of the highlight, like the fight scenes in this, because it's pretty fucking.
I do appreciate how just because like we're so far down the line in sort of general animation that it just like the regular episodes, like the more like calmer moments, they're still very well animated, but then like when you get to the really intense action, like it pops all the way off.
And it's one of those things where I noticed that it, like the animation got better as it went along.
Yeah, that's true. Like I remember when I saw the jumping ahead a little bit, the hand scene with the
Mojito.
I thought that was the best animated episode in the series, but now watching them all in one go, I realized it only got better animation-wise as it went on. And it only got better story-wise, too, as it went on.
Because, like, the first few handful of episodes, those, like, sort of stock anime crowds that have, like, only, like, one or two figures in the foreground moving, everything else is still. But, like, as it goes on, it's less and less of that. Also, there's probably a lot less characters to work with.
And plus, I do feel like, of course, you do have like, a lot of characters as you're into this. But I feel like it has a comfortable medium right now where there are a lot of characters, but it doesn't feel like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it has like more, let's say, not as many as like Bleach, but like fewer than Naruto. Like, I feel like there's a comfortable amount that even someone like me is sort of jumping in like the deep end of the pool with this. Like, I was able to pick up who everybody was in a reasonable amount of time.
And even by the end of the season, it still wasn't that many characters. Because, like, I love My Hero, but holy shit, there are so many.
They throw a lot of characters at you.
They throw a lot of characters at you. And for some reason, I could never remember anyone's name in that show.
The funny thing is, I remember almost all their names for no fucking reason. And I have such terrible times with names or remembering anything. My brain's a fish.
I will say I remember almost everybody's names in My Hero except for Class 1B. Because in this season, they're introducing everybody in Class 1B, and I'm just like, I can't remember any of them.
Like,
for the life of me.
This is like beyond what can be expected. Because I feel like the more nubile parts of my anime brain are still holding on to like Bleach character names because they had a fuck ton of people in that show and swords and shit. So I'm just like, I can't physically fit any more anime characters into my head.
What's Cat Lady's name?
Huh?
Cat Lady's name from Bleach.
Yoriichi.
Yoriichi. I want to remember that name for the rest of my life.
But like,
like that's the last thing you say, like Rosebud when you die.
Yoriichi. God damn it!
Like he just drops like the hot titty anime statue from his hand. It crashes on the floor.
No, Colt says Yuriichi, and then somebody's like, "What does that mean?" It's like it's a big hot titty cat lady from an anime.
It's the only way. It's the only way I'm going.
And then it's just like somebody's like, respect.
But like one thing I will say, like over like I'd say the past like 5 or 6 years, shonen has gotten like substantially better.
It really has. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Because like to me, it was like I grew up initially with like Dragon Ball, and then after Dragon Ball, all the iterations of Dragon Ball, it was like Naruto, and Bleach. And then after that was like, I was getting into high school and started noticing things. So like by the time Attack on Titan came out, or in shows of that generation, I was just like, I've seen this before. And
isn't Attack on Titan like a seinen?
I was about to say,
I mean, it's technically seinen, but it had some very similar tropes.
Yeah.
Or I guess I've only seen the first half of the season because I was like, I'm just not into
You've got
this.
nothing there. You
I
don't
think
have
it's
any knowledge.
I do now because I like read the wiki on it, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I dropped this. But
here's a poll for the chat. Attack on Titan, is it problematic?
Yes, but
well, I mean,
also
it's not like that. I was just like, I just was not into it. And then there was like Black Clover and all those stupid doo-doo shows.
I don't
understand why people thought Black Clover was any good. And then even, would you consider Sword Art Online a shonen?
No, that's more of
I don't even want to say that's seinen either.
That's like an isekai.
I mean, it's isekai, but
I mean,
like, it's not.
it can still be considered like as a broader genre, shonen or seinen.
Well, I mean, because like shonen is basically just an age demographic.
Damn, Cole.
It's a sister fucker
I mean,
genre.
it is, yeah.
It really is. And Sword Art Online is just
And
fucking
also,
stupid.
good news: there's no sister fucking that I know of so far in Jujutsu Kaisen.
But hold on, I like.
I don't like the way you said that. You said, "But hold on."
No, I was gonna say every time I meet somebody who says Sword Art Online is their favorite anime, I just immediately think of the sister fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, get away from me.
Well, like the thing is a sister fucking thing is like the fifth thing wrong with that show.
I enjoyed the first half of the first season. I was like, okay, we're actually doing something cool here. And then it went immediately to the second part of the first season, and I was like,
and then
no.
But I mean, even then, I was just like, oh wow, this is when someone explained the premise to me, I'm like, oh, so it was like hat sign.
Okay,
or what was that other show? It was Log
came out after Sword Art Online, Log Horizon.
Okay.
Or something like that.
I know we need to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Fuck.
It's just, I just get so many thoughts about all this other anime, especially Black Clover. That's such a disappointing thing.
Why did Astra's character design go from okay to the worst
Asta.
thing I've ever seen?
Oh, and then there's like shows like Fairy Tail, which like when I was this is completely off subject, but when I was fucking going to school to be a teacher, I was interning at a school. And the teacher I was assigned to, we kind of hit it off because he was like really into anime. And he's like, do you watch Fairy Tail? And I was like,
I used to love Fairy Tail.
I was about to say, don't you love Fairy Tail?
I used to, but as I grew up, I look back on it, I'm like, man, there's some stuff in there that, as an adult, I do not like.
That's I remember you making your Natsu emblem for Black Ops 3.
Yeah, because I fucking love
Yeah,
Natsu.
I know,
I think Natsu's still cool.
Yeah.
It's just other characters that I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you suck.
and if I'm shitting on your favorite show, I'm sorry.
I mean,
this
it's not my
is just
favorite.
my opinion, and I have very.
I mean,
strong opinions.
what's the same way? I remember starting Fairy Tail because I've read his first series, Raidmaster, and like it's like
that was the same person.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hiro
Oh,
Mashima.
shit.
I remember starting it, and it's just kind of like this is shonen. Like, and I feel like it's not giving me anything more. And I feel like
Yeah.
even other people would say like it's kind of doesn't have much to say other than power of friendship, just like ad nauseum.
Yeah, and I felt like a lot of those shows, especially after Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, kind of like spun their wheels, and it was just sort of like they were trying to copy that. And then like once like My Hero, Demon Slayer, and other shows started coming out, I was like, holy shit! Like it's actually going places, even though they might borrow some stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I would say like you said, if anything, if you're to check out any Shonen Jump, I would immediately recommend My Hero, Promised Neverland, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, even though I haven't watched it or read it, and One Punch Man. Even though I can understand that being kind of repetitive, but I still highly recommend it.
I think I know what actually made the shonen good. They finally just started letting characters fucking die. It's finally just
Well, I
getting death from
mean, it's not just that.
I know, but the big thing is, I remember just all these big characters having these huge fights, just be like, "I'll come back later."
Or like there would be some MacGuffin like the Dragon Balls that like death was never permanent.
Yeah,
We're also talking with this thing that basically each iteration of a shonen series or each iteration of the genre, it sort of unconsciously builds on top of another. So like some people may see Dragon Ball or Naruto antiquated by today's standard, but it's like if we wouldn't have shows like this without them.
Oh yeah.
So like everything builds upon the next. So I feel like according to Wenzel, Jujutsu starts to like do new things within the genre of shonen, or at least it does something to set it out from the pack at least. I do appreciate even within it in its familiarity, there's still something new. Like even something that's basic to me. Like I just sort of liked how the women characters in the show feel like they're better written.
Oh my god, yeah, because that was my biggest fucking problem with Naruto. And like I didn't get super far into Bleach, but similarly, but like it was just like it seemed like they would introduce these really cool female characters who had really cool powers, and then like Kishimoto would not do anything with them.
Yeah,
like Sakura gets that one sick ass fight, and that's it.
And
then she's like the worst character in
Sarada is better, but that could also be because someone else was writing her for the first half of Boruto. I don't know.
I kind of feel like I'm a Sakura defender. It's like she's not a bad character. She was just badly written.
Well, yeah.
It's not. People act like she's like an actual person, and like it's like she deserves to be like shat on. Like it's Kishimoto for not knowing what the fuck to do with girl characters.
Yeah, because like it's like 10-10. What the fuck did she do?
She just had scrolls with weapons in them.
She had that like one tiny fight of like half an episode in the tuning,
which is like cheers on Rock Lee. That's her thing.
Yeah, if anybody else was writing some of these other, it's not just an Naruto. This is a reoccurring thing, and I kind of feel like the bar is so low for women characters in anime that like anything outside of they're just allowed to have a full fight. It's sort of like just queen.
It's either that or like. Even shows like I really love, like Kill la Kill. It's like very strong female characters, but they're just half naked the entire show.
So there's some problems here. But like, I did feel like Nobara got a little sidelined at the start of the series.
She did.
Yeah,
but she has like hype shit later.
Like the final couple episodes.
Yeah,
or even throughout.
Yeah.
But
she's still like a cool character and she gets some cool moments, but like. There's one moment in particular we'll get to because I would like to go a little chronologically.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh shit, she did this thing that the main character did. Like, they're on a reasonably similar level.
But I would like to put a break in here because when Colt mentioned Asta's disgusting design, this is my interpretation of that. See, normal. What the fuck? Also, here's another one of him down below.
Can you describe what you've drawn for the listeners at home?
I drew a very plain, just character stick figure, whatever you want to call it. It says normal, and then I drew an absolute abomination of tiny head, big body, big ass, kind of oddly proportioned legs with huge ass thighs. That is Asta's design right now in the manga. And then I actually I tried to draw from memory the just random promotional art of him looking back at you with his cheeked up ass. Because
double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
Any Black Clover fans in here or whatever, at first in the series, Asta's supposed to be buff, but he's supposed to look pretty scrawny. But then over the course, which is fine because it shows he's changed, but it's not a good looking change.
He's wearing a tiny fucking vest with some tight ass pants, and he's got an 8-pack, and that's the only thing. And he's just buff as shit for no reason.
It's just all of his body is just it's just one big buff fucking ball, and then his head is just the same.
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld draw this motherfucker.
There's something about Asta's face that just triggers a fucking visual reaction.
Exactly.
I hate his face.
Exactly. Every time I see his fucking face, I get so mad. And then I see his body, I'm just like, you're so stupid looking. Stop smiling. You're in one of the worst animes ever.
And isn't his shtick, his comedic gimmick that he sexually harasses women?
I have no clue.
No,
I have not heard of that. I think
you're probably thinking of in some capacity, maybe the main character from Seven Deadly Sins.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Seven Deadly Sins.
Which, I tried watching that, and it has, some cool action, but I hated the main dude in it.
He sucks so much shit.
It's so funny because I did see also what the fight scenes are like currently with the most current season, and my god, they fucked that shit up real bad.
I watched the first season. I thought it was fun time. I enjoyed it, but then again, I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
As it went on, I realized, whoa, this is bad. Don't watch it.
Wait, did you watch it?
Wait, are y'all talking about Seven Deadly Sins or Black Clover?
Seven Deadly Sins.
Did you watch it after I watched it? Because I think I remember talking to you about it and got you to watch it.
I think we just watched it at random points in times.
Because I remember we were both in high school.
I feel like I watched that in middle school.
I didn't. I watched that in high school. That didn't come out till later.
Oh, Lord.
Because I remember I was on an anime kick where I watched Parasite, One Punch Man, Kill la Kill, and then that was on my chopping block. And I liked the first season, but then they did a reboot of it, and that was really bad from what I understand. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, now they're doing a crossover gotcha game with fucking Stranger Things for some fucking reason.
Yeah, because their fan bases cross over so much.
I mean, like
that is the most random fucking bullshit.
There's something so funny about fucking anime Hooper with a fucking gun fighting anime Demogorgons in this weird fantasy setting. But anyhow, speaking of fighting demons, like in Jujutsu,
Pat is just trying to wheel this thing back on.
Just to say this, like let's talk about some of the characters in the show. Who are some of our favorite characters like throughout the series, or what ones you maybe sort of grew to like over the course of the show?
Minami and Nobara are my two favorite characters because they both just go hard as shit when they fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. What about you, the two guys, two newbies? Yeah.
I mean,
as a Kakashi stan, I'm legally, contractually obligated to say Gojo is my favorite character.
like, you know, barring like everybody's like favorite characters like Gojo. It's like barring Gojo.
Yeah, I mean honestly, because I mean he's just like stupid OP. Like,
so surprisingly, there is a lot of, not a hate, but I say there's a lot of the disdain that you have in the anime and manga for him from other characters is like reflected on the real world too. Because there's a lot of people who have a disdain for him. I'm just like, you probably just don't get the character. You just don't get it.
I get it. He's just, from what I can tell, just too annoying. Not annoying, but overpowered.
But
I could see how people would find him annoying, and he is stupid overpowered.
That's the main reason.
And it kind of does, and that we'll get into criticism.
And see, but that's the thing is that I remember initially learning about Gojo, I was like, man, I like this guy so much. And then I was looking up more about him after reading the manga, and somebody wrote this really fucking good essay about him. And I'm like, holy shit, yeah, you convinced me. He's my favorite character. Because he is over the course of the show, he's a very complex character that I was very surprised about. That I was just like, this is just one of the things that Shonen Jump has surprised me with, is these characters that are just so, on the surface, just seem so like, just, you know, cool, or, you know,
or like a comedic character.
Yeah, and then like, but deep down it's like, holy shit, they're very well written and very complex, and like you can do so much with this in terms of storytelling and just like real thematic application.
But anyway, outside of Gojo, what are some of your favorite characters, Pat?
I feel like I got really attached to Nobara right away because like I really love how like brash she is, and like like her power is pretty sick. Like because her power is based off like, you know, Japanese curse and like their effigies, because it may be like a visual thing you may have seen in anime of like the straw doll with like a nail through it. Yeah, and that's what part of like this sort of like Japanese magic that's present. But like I've never seen a character with that explicit power. She has like hammer and nails, and that's essentially kind of like a voodoo thing. Like whatever the nail goes into, it sort of impacts the person that whoever sort of substance it's connected to is affected by.
Yeah.
Well, even beside, like, even not bringing that into it, the minute she just brought out the hammer and nails, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking
This
cool.
is hardcore
This
shit.
is like a really interesting
like she's gonna fucking like kill somebody with a claw hammer, and boy does she.
Yeah. It's her technique is just called straw doll technique, and it's just so sick. Good character. Great character.
And I was trying to think, like, of like the main characters, like the Gojo exception clause, Nobara, Panda, love Panda.
Panda's great, and the fight he gets in this season was fucking hype.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite fights of the season. Just the scene with the rocket propelled spike arm. Fuck.
Yeah.
When he fights Beckamaru, that's pretty sick. I mean, there's not really a bad fight, because like you get like the equivalent of a tournament arc in the middle of it. And I like how they set it up. Like, this is obviously the tournament arc, but they go about it in a slightly different way. Like, it's two teams from rival schools competing, but then you still get your one-on-one fight. So Panda versus Mechamaru was really slick.
You know what it reminded? It reminded me a lot of the tuning, like the early parts of the tuning exams.
It was funny how much of Jujutsu was ringing a lot of Naruto bells for me, and not in a bad way either. Of course, it's just like one of those things, like, because Naruto is so ubiquitous in shonen, like it's kind of hard to escape any comparison because it's like one of the most popular of the modern series.
Yeah.
Or one of the most well known. So like you can't really escape it. But I did appreciate them. I really loved Maki.
Oh, she was one of my favorites too.
Yeah, Maki's great.
Because like she's a normal quote character. She's
and I'm a slut for that trope of just the normal character who doesn't have any powers but just keeps up with everybody.
Overpowered,
and like she was bad as fuck because like I said, she has no powers. She has to wear special gear to like see the demons, but like she has superhuman endurance like Yuji. But like she can use all the weapons, she's whooping ass. Like the combo move that she does with Fushiguro against Hanami, and when doing the fucking invasion part, that was sick. And she whips out the Sansetsu comb, bitch.
And then they're like trading weapons and holy shit.
Yeah, the teamwork is fucking ridiculous, and like her usage of cursed tools is like, I mean, yeah, like they said, she's like one of the top cursed tool users, and yeah.
And I will say that her story with her sister Mai, that was probably the most emotionally resonant of what I watched of the season. Like, we'll get to some other parts, but like just the story that she had with her sister, like their very troubled home life, how like their family sexist and looked down on both of them. And she had no powers, and she left to sort of do her own thing and inadvertently left her sister behind to sort of deal with that bullshit. Yep. And you sort of see the pros and cons of both of their lives in action, and like, but still like hurts and seeing the flashback of like of her sister's like, you said you'd never let me go and you left me behind, and that was, to me, that was a really solid emotional moment.
Also, her sister has a fucking revolver.
Well, a Glock for the flash.
Like when she fucking pulled that shit out, I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck am I watching?
I know.
My super emotional moment though would have to be when Todo and when Itadori went to high school together or middle school.
The future that could have been.
It was so good.
Like, I will say, like, of course they're introduced, like Mai and Todo are from the rival Jujutsu school, and they introduced as bastards, but then like the journey that Todo goes on in the fight, and when he makes friends with Yuji, and like when they fucking start whipping out that bro shit fighting Hanami, god damn.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want a spin-off of just them fucking around.
Whenever their team up is just perfect. It was just absolutely bro shit. Perfect team up to take on
even
stuff.
when they were fighting, even before like Hanami enters the equation, like Toto's just like, all right, we're gonna stop right here. I'm gonna teach you some shit.
Yeah, it was just they've been like, Yuji is such a weird anomaly because with how big Todo is, like Todo was like, yeah, he's physically stronger than me. And, like, you know, he can run so fucking fast, and he can throw a ball. Shock put.
Yeah, he broke the world record.
And he did it in a pitcher stance, which nobody can fucking throw a shock put with a pitcher stance.
Yeah, you can't throw a giant iron ball overhand.
Yeah, no, Colt's right. The most emotional part was that.
Yeah.
Since we're kind of just talking about, like, general character overview, I mean, we haven't even really talked about the protagonist, which... Usually shonen, like, I absolutely fucking hate the protagonist. But, like, I really like Yuji.
Yeah, I mean, he's all around just at first he's just a normal kid, but all around he's just a good guy, you know? And the thing is, too, the way he starts out is, like, he has Sukuna and it's Sukuna.
The whole bit they had with Ramen Sukuna as like the evil spirit inside of Yuji, that was a good bit.
No, he has Sukuna and people, and you think like, oh yeah, he can just whip him out like Kurama or
or like Ichigo's hollow form or going back to the great apes in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, whatever your like inner demon superpower is, shonens have him by the bucket.
But with this, that's not the case. He can't do that because I don't know if anybody knows, but Sukuna really fucking evil.
He's a dick.
Like he is a cunt.
Like he is capricious and he is like a bastard. Like, there's literally a tense moment where you would think he would whip out the demon shit, and then the demon straight up says, nah, bitch, you ain't getting this.
And just to watch the person he's inhabiting just to suffer. That's literally it.
That's a fuck. All right. That is the most emotional part of the series, legit for me, is whenever what's his name? Junpei fucking dies.
No, I think about that constantly because I'm just so mad because Akutami, the mangaka, said in an interview because people were like, "Oh, is Sukuna going to be like a Kurama, a Vegeta, like a villain becoming good guy situation?" And they just straight up say, "No, he's evil. Don't root for him. Don't like him. He's pure evil. He's not ever going to be good."
Yeah, well, and the way the show's set up, it looks like he's being set up as like the final boss too.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that. 'Cause that's gonna be interesting if that's how it plays out. But like, it's just, I will say there was something in there that like, sorry, this is kind of criticism. There's a part in there where when Mahito first touches Sukuna's soul, that Sukuna's like, the only chance you're gonna get, know your place, you're fool. I remember people seeing people's reactions to that. They're like, oh man, Sukuna's such a badass. Like, this is such a cool moment. And it's like, let's calm down a minute. He is, very tough, very strong. But this is not a moment of him being like, oh yeah, I'm defending Yuji. It's just like, no, he's like,
no, he's just like, I am stronger than you. And
he's just lording over his presence of not only like Yuji, but also all other life and
all of creation. He wants to show that like, you are below me. This is the only chance you're going to get. Next chance, you're dead. Or, you're close to it.
I am pretty excited to see his final form or whenever he is actually out. Because I want to see all four of his arms going mad.
Yeah. I will say, Akutami did some art for what he originally looks like. It's pretty fucking sick, what he originally looked like. I don't know how he's going to look when he fully manifests.
I will say, for like the inner demon like shonen trope, he hasn't really done that outside of like the first part of the season. I mean, it's kind of like that's kind of necessary when Yuji hasn't like developed his powers, because like every other moment where Yuji's like fighting or he has to overcome something, it's been his own strength. Whether he realized it at the moment, like, oh, I do this to make this happen, sort of like it's Yuji doing it, and like Sukuna's just sort of glower in the background. It's
Akutami did actually some art of there. People were like, what is Sukuna doing while Yuji's doing stuff? And it just shows Sukuna just lying on the floor, and then it just shows up like a light from above, and it's like random dialogue, and then he'll like randomly hear like Yuji suffering, and he'll look up and be like, oh, and then it's like it changes to something happy. It's like, like he goes back to sleep. Like he just doesn't fucking care. Yeah, no, that's what something that I think that Jujutsu Kaisen does well that a lot of Shonen Jump don't do is how Yuji very much suffers, and he's very like he's struggling really, really hard. And now they have been saying stuff like, oh, he has raw, strength, superhuman speed, endurance, and what have you. But I mean, for the most part, he's been getting his ass kicked.
Well, I mean, if you just kind of look at him on the surface, like sort of like Gojo, he's like, at least for where he's at in his journey, he's pretty overpowered compared to other characters.
I mean,
but like what the show does really well is make every fight like the stakes are always at peak.
It's like death. It's like do or die. Like these are like
one slip up and you're fucked.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate they're kind of keeping like the power scale in balance. Like, of course, the main character is always going to be like the top, but I kind of feel like the other characters in the show, they're at a level where they don't feel too distant from him. Like they obviously have, like, he takes care of like the main baddies, but like I still feel like there is a reasonable like power gap between him and the other protagonists. It doesn't feel like, oh, he's just gonna like carry the whole team in his back, because like all the other people, like when the cursed spirits like Hanami was like invading the school, like everybody was on their game. Like they were throwing it out as much as they were taking the punishment. Like when the three dudes, Inosaki, Fushiguro, and Kamo were fighting Hanami, they were getting some licks in, and then Fushiguro and Maki, and then finally when Todo and Yuji came in and like sort of wrecking house, like it was all really slick, and everybody was doing their good job. Everybody's like solid and good and fighting. And it's like I appreciate that. especially at the very end when Nobara and Yuji teamed up to fight the Cursed Womb Brothers. That was hype shit.
Yeah,
that was the hypest fight of the whole fucking anime.
Man. Yeah, I know we're jumping all over the place, but that's the most recent one we watched, and that was like, oof, so good.
And like also with as many spoilers, we're kind of hoping that you've seen it up to this point, and plus like how sort of quote late in the game it is. Like most people have watched it by now.
Yeah.
But that's what sort of the existence of the non-canon anyway is, sort of to speak freely about spoilers.
Oh yeah, no, of course, and like, and I know Pat and I have already said it, but like the show is like such hype because like not only besides like the fights and the animation, it's just like anytime anything's mentioned about like names or lore, I get super excited because I love lore and story so much. It's so good.
And then on top of that, like there's this one of the things one of the facets of the show I'm really interested in is sort of the political dynamic between a lot of these jujutsu sorcerers. Like, because there's this big tension of, like, people don't want, Yuji to really exist because he is a vessel for sucking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have, like, various competing interests with Gojo and the fucking dude with the guitar, which that fucking threw me for a loop.
The bastard principal from the rival schools, like he looks like this geezer with like too many piercings, and like because he's very much against Yuji living because he's
one of the higher ups,
and like but then when they fucking swerve us, it's like when the invasion happened, it's like go on ahead, I'll fight the guy with the cleaver, and he just like whips out a fucking electric guitar, and you're just like, what the fuck?
I just wish a better character had that power, because it's just like, man, you are a fucking bastard, but
he could whip ass. We've barely seen him.
Yeah, you barely see him.
I do appreciate they giving that dichotomy to the character, because like he is a bastard, but like he has such a funny part of his character. You're kind of like it's like a begrudging like enjoyment or respect for him. It's like
and the thing is like he's so like self-serious up until the point where we realize what his power is, and it's just like you wouldn't. It's such a swerve because you wouldn't expect this guy of all people would just be fucking shredding.
Yeah, literally, because in the entire time Gojo's talking about the higher ups, how conservative they are, and like he's one of the higher ups, and he just whips out the most punk ass fucking setup ever, and he's a conservative old fucking man. No fucking way. A flying V guitar. No fucking way.
Well, I mean, granted, a lot of boomer rock is conservative.
That is true. That is true. But no, you're right. It was insane seeing that, and that's something that I really like too about Jujutsu Kaisen is that you'll have these characters that seem kind of like brash or kind of like assholes, but like not all of them, but some of them, it's like really and truly they're trying to see seek the best for like everybody.
You see where they come from, like,
and even the bastard principal, you understand why he is this way.
I mean, yeah,
because they're kind of rolling the dice with Yuji.
Yeah,
Sukuna is a demon, super powerful demon. I understand.
The most powerful one.
Yeah, he's the king of curses and the king of deadly poisons, and they have he's considered special grade, and Gojo is special grade. So like to have somebody that's on the same level almost as Gojo is very terrifying, and they're going to be reincarnated and they're pure fucking evil. Yeah, that's a problem scenario. Huge problem. And Yoshinobu, I think that's his first name, he just looked in like he wants to protect the kids as well, and that's something to respect. Man, he is an asshole.
He was nice to Miwa. He was like, can you get me some tea?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's nice to all of his students, but like
his students,
yeah. And but when it comes to having somebody harboring a demon, he's just like, he doesn't see him as a person, and I mean, yeah, and that just pisses me off.
Because like he has like that whole shtick where he's under the cover of this sort of sporting exam between the rival schools. He's like, hey, y'all team up to kill him, and we'll just say, oh, it was an accident.
Yeah, just putting on an assassination order for a bunch of high schoolers to take on. Like,
also, here's this massive demon that'll help you kill him.
Yeah, and then even way before that, he essentially planned out him Yuji dying when they sent the 3 first years to go take down a special grade. Like, come on, man.
Like, he's been pulling his string to make it so where there'll be instances where Yuji could be killed. And like John was saying, those are the political dynamics of, like, you have Gojo, who's like, he's very much like the Loki. Like, he's got an ulterior motive, and he's trying to, like, stir shit up. And you have the school itself, and we have what sort of this, like, vague council of power that exists above the school that we haven't seen or really given a name for, that sort of exists.
They just call them the higher ups.
Yeah, because, like, that's one of the things I love about this, because you have, you know, the regular human world and then the Jujutsu world are separate, but they, you know, exist together, and they're just so vastly different, because you have the schools, like you said, you have the higher ups, which essentially, like, are kind of like
they're like the ruling government.
They're kind of the ruling government, but yeah, they're kind of the ruling government. But then you also have Gojo, who is literally his own powerhouse. Like, because he exists, he has so much sway within the Jujutsu world, because, you know,
like what is anyone going to do to him?
Yeah, because, like, I mean, you know, he is, of course, careful, but also it's like nobody can literally touch him.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons why I'm more okay with him being overpowered. I mean, it doesn't go unstated. I mean, everyone is kind of terrified of him.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, at first when, like, you're introduced to Gojo, he just seems cocky. He's like, oh, you know, I'm the strongest, you know. But then
once you see him fight, it's like, oh.
But then you realize his power, which I remember first getting introduced to that. I was just blown away, because, you know, to those of you listening, he is continuously covering himself with infinity, so that no matter what, no matter how hard you try, you can never ever touch him, and he never turns it off.
I want to say I'm glad I watched it a second time, because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't fully understand or just get. I guess I just missed it somehow.
Because it's kind of similar to some of, like, JoJo stands, where it's like, what the fuck is this?
Where I didn't understand it in the manga, when I watched the anime, I was like, okay, I understand this.
Yeah, like, King Crimson does not work well in manga.
And they do throw a lot of shit at you, so I can understand that.
But Gojo was the one thing, first time around, I was like, everybody keeps talking about his power. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck his power is. And I was I finished it, and I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what his ability is.
And just from what, like, Wenzel and Tanner have been saying, like, how there's still a lot that hasn't been explained yet. And it's not just like, oh, this is a failing of the writer to not properly give information. Like, it's being purposely withheld for the sake of, like, mystery in the story, which I do appreciate. One thing, how, like, I do feel like there's a good bit of, like, setup in this series so far.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup, and it pays. It honestly pays well, especially with Gojo, because, you know, you get to see his infinity, and then you get to see him use one of his techniques, which is curse reversal red, and it's just a color, red. And that was something I didn't notice until watching it, is the color portion. But aside from Gojo, I'm going to detract a little bit. Anytime anybody's using cursed energy, it's usually blue. And then if they're, when Gojo uses curse reversal red, it's red, which means it's reverse curse energy. So reversal of curse energy is always going to be red.
Is that like holy, or is it still...
No, it's just the opposite, which is positive energy, positive curse energy.
So I guess obviously, one of the things with the anime, it's like you kind of have to go outside the box when it turns to powers. Like, you know, you get gone maybe are the days where it's just, oh, this guy has the fire power, this guy has an ice power. So, like, you're getting into, like, more elaborate abilities. So, like, that's definitely something that comes to play here. Like, okay, these are, like, kind of complicated. And to, like, Gojo and to the writer's credit, he is the strongest character, but I feel like whenever he steps in, it doesn't feel like an ass pull. Like, the writer put himself in the corner, throw Gojo in there to finish it all. I kind of feel like whenever he comes in, it feels like credible.
It feels earned.
Like Shanks in One Piece.
Yeah.
Where he shows up every 700 episodes.
But no, what I was going to say, though, is that in the moment when Yuji is trying to fight the first special grade spirit, which they don't ever say its name, but its name is Finger Bearer because it has it has a Sukuna's finger in it, and a lot of its design is finger-like. And no, when he tries to punch it, his cursed energy is red, and that means that in that moment, even though he's like, it could be nothing, but for me, I like to think that like in that moment he had hope, and so the cursed energy was reversed, so it became red. But anyway, back to Gojo though, and then when he fucking pulls his domain expansion, I was like, oh my god, holy shit.
And then when he does the fucking purple shit and just creates a fuck all laser, what the fuck?
Creates fucking Vanilla Ice from JoJo.
When he fucking combines red and blue, when he's combining colors, it's so funny because people are like, oh, when somebody's combining colors, shit's getting real because he's combining colors and using fucking purple. Oh my god! And that actually gets explained later, and it's fucking incredible. He is, like you said, it doesn't feel like an ass pull. Like Gojo is an entity or an organism to be feared, and when he comes in, it's just like oh shit.
Like even the villains are like, oh
yeah,
we're leaving.
Yeah, no, I like that because it's like it's like Hanami said, I'm not arrogant enough to fight Gojo, and then fucking the blonde guy's name. Where's the fucking overalls? He's just
that
like,
we only see for like 5 minutes.
Not Jojo Siwa.
He's just like, oh. He's like,
am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You know, and the thing is,
taller than Joe Rogan.
You know, the thing is though, there's that point where he's holding his overalls. I'm like, is he trying to hide a fucking boner? What is he doing?
I want to deck that character in the face.
I want to deck him too.
It's just an ugly character. I don't like
his sword is cool. Like his sword has a hand at the end of it that holds his hand while he swings. That's a neat bit.
That's neat
because like there's this other character that works for the bad guys who's like this Buffalo Bill dude who like builds shit out of like
he's straight
body.
up Ed Gein.
Yeah.
But I enjoy him way more because he's got a quirk and he just likes bones. He wants to make a coat rack out of Gojo.
Yeah. Oh, he also wanted to make a wallet sort of out of the old guy.
See,
it's like a wallet that has old man smell.
Old man skin.
I'm just imagine like you open the wallet and he just takes a big sniff. Like
JoJo Siwa.
It smells like a thrift store.
JoJo Siwa guy just seems like his bit is being a pervert, and I don't like it.
Okay, his technique is really it's fucking ridiculous. I will just say that. It makes me so mad when I think about it.
It's like, why are you so repulsive but have a cool power?
He can't say.
I can't say.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's just nothing.
I guess like we'll find out.
I'll just say this: pay attention to the marks on his face.
They're fox whiskers. He's got a nine-tails fox.
Yeah. It's just, man, Gojo, I love him so much. He's my favorite character, hands down. I don't know if I stated that.
But what's your non-Gojo?
I do have a top 5. It goes Gojo, Akatsu, which is a character that's been mentioned constantly, but you don't ever actually interact with him until later. Yuji, basically
the toughest student.
Yeah, he was the toughest second year who like in the tournament arc whenever they had it, he single-handedly beat all the second and third years from the Kyoto school. I did not realize they mentioned Rika so early. Anyway, Yuji, Megumi, then Nanami. And then after that, it's literally just fair game because I really do love almost all of them. I love Nobara. I love Maki. I love Miwa. I love Panda. Unumaki. Maybe I should move. I don't know. Unumaki's great. I love the fucking principal. I cannot remember his name. Who makes the cursed corpses. Yeah. They're all so great, really.
The fighting teddy bears.
Yeah.
Like, right now, there's, like, outside of JoJo Siwa, which we've only seen for a little bit, there really isn't a bad character.
I will say they're like some bastards. Like, also, I did want to say, we're not shitting on JoJo Siwa. This is just a visual comparison.
When you see the character, you'll understand.
It looks like JoJo Siwa.
And Mahito, bastard.
Yeah.
Like, straight up bastard.
Oh, my God. And so uncomfortable. Like, not in a bad way, but it's just like, just ugh.
Like the whole Junpei story arc is really solid, and which delivers like one of the big like teases, but also one of the biggest swerves of the first season.
Yeah,
and like and a very potent emotional moment.
Yeah, because throughout the show, if anybody's been watching the opening, it shows Junpei with everybody. Like he's constantly shown in there, and it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna probably join the Jujutsu school because later, he actually picks up a technique which is he uses a jellyfish shikigami, and it's like, oh shit, like yeah, he's gonna join the school, and then nope, he fucking dies. And it's so fucking sad.
In like a really harsh way.
Yeah,
too.
and like not only that, his mom dies too. And it's just like
we love hot mom.
Which like it's like, goddamn, why the fuck you introduce this hot mom and kill her in like 5 minutes?
But something I didn't pick up before that now I'm curious is that they cover the father's fucking face. And I'm just And I'm just like, okay, that either means two things. One, it just means that the father's just, out of the picture. Or two, the father is somebody important. They're just hiding it. And I did not think about that until then.
Part of me feels like it might be the former because that is a very common trope in anime where they have like a character, like a single parent character, and whichever person is not involved, it's just obscured. And it's not for like, oh, this will be important later. It's just like they're not involved, so we're not covering. And plus, that sort of implies that there is an emotional distance between that character. Like, there's a reason why they're not involved.
And I will say this: remember too that Yuji's grandfather wanted to tell something about his parents.
Yeah,
and he never got to.
He just fell asleep
and died. But like, but sort of on the Junpei's dad, like that's probably just part of the red herring.
Possibly,
because when I saw it, I was like, oh, he's gonna come back once. Oh no, Junpei's dead. Okay.
that might be true because what the father's not there. And now the character's dead, and the mother's dead. So like, it wouldn't really matter. It'd
be a bit weird to like bring that back.
Yeah, that's true.
And especially like how far y'all are into the series. Be like, oh yeah, we're
gonna pull this guy back from like chapter 10.
Well, just know so far into the series, there's so much shit that still isn't explained. Like, come on, man. Okay, Urihime, right? The woman who's like the counterpart to Gojo.
She's the teacher at the
Kyoto. Still don't know what her technique is. Have no idea.
And plus, you said with Panda, we don't know his third.
We
power.
still don't know his other core. But I will say, Akutami did say in an interview that it has Urihime's power has something to do with singing.
Okay.
Probably like a mermaid or something.
I mean, I was thinking, like, you know what? It makes sense. The fucking principal has a guitar. Of course she can sing.
Like the Kyoto school is just a band, and all their powers like combined make like a fucking rock show.
That'd be good shit. I'd dig it.
There's a point I was going to make about the Junpei stuff.
Incredibly sad.
No, it's a very potent emotional moment.
Junpei is a school shooter.
That I didn't get that vibe at first, but when you brought that up, I was like, "Fuck!" Like that is totally the vibe.
Which like that like, and this is totally like a subjective thing for me, but like I wasn't necessarily sad that he died. I was more sad about Yuji being sad that he died.
Jeez, I was sad that he died because I related to his character in a sense that. I don't want everyone to die. When I was in middle school, at least, I didn't want everyone to die. I just wanted the bullies to die.
Yeah,
because he was pretty horrifically bullied. Like he literally had he pulled back his hair and he has like multiple cigarette burns on his head.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, and the thing is like I completely understand why he's that way. And like I totally get why he would feel that. I mean, I would be too if I was in his position, but it was still like, are you about to do a Columbine right now?
I mean, and that's the reason why Mahito like preyed on Junpei, because he knew he was this maladjusted kid. He was bullied and taken advantage of, and so like he found the most vulnerable person that he can manipulate, and he did it in the cruelest way possible.
Yeah, and then because like before this point, like Mahito is like pretty quirky villain, but like the minute he does that turn, and you know it's coming, but like the level of maliciousness behind it was
Mahito is just straight up Orochimaru.
See, that's what I
without wanting a young boy's body.
Yeah, well, and also too, like I don't get the same vibe from Mahito as Orochimaru. Like Mahito kind of has this like almost innocent demeanor.
I don't see it. I see
like
him as a weird predator.
I was about to say, because like
like he's kind of childlike in his move.
I mean,
like,
no, Nanami said like he's like, this cursed spirit is like a child, and that's something that was kind of like not advertised but kind of shown off about Mahito. Is like he seems kind of like this quirky, innocent guy. But this is what I like about JJK is that like turns out no, he is absolutely just insidious, an evil entity, just pure evil.
And plus, they did say that he of like the big curse spirits that are like the big bads. Like he's relatively the youngest because he's the most recently manifested. Because each of the main big curse spirits represent like the collective fear of an abstract concept, like
they're the disaster curse,
like being lost in the woods, the fear of the sea,
and the fear of volcanoes.
It makes sense because humans have been around for.
And that's what Mahito. He's the coalescence of human fears.
Yeah, and that like earth and ocean stuff. Things have been scared of that before humans were around.
Yeah, but the curses are solely born from human fears, which is kind of it's kind of but they're still very fucking ancient though. Yeah. But it's also funny because they meant whenever Geto has his first meeting with the 3 disaster curses, they're like, oh, so your boss wants to change up the world and stuff. Or change the world so that it be fitting to curses. And I completely forgot that, Mahito is their boss. He's essentially their leader. And I'm like, and that's what I really like about Junpei's arc, because you have Yuji whose death is official, but he's not. He's doing like some covert op shit with Nanami, trying to investigate a fucking something that's making transfigured humanoids, trying to investigate this kid, and it's just a really good arc because we get to see that Nanami, their dynamic, the friendship that should have been, and Mahito.
Yeah, I will say, like, just this is a little off subject, but I guess probably my only criticism of the season is, and it's only like the first half, is once Yuji, quote unquote, dies, they're really, he isn't given a lot of opportunity to interact with anybody. And so like the like intros and everything, like the Juju scrolls and everything are trying to like insinuate that him and Megumi and Nobara are like these really tight, close friends, but you don't really get that.
They weren't really together.
They weren't really
or
together.
Really, they're not. They weren't shown to be like together a long time before he, had his death.
Yeah, and then there's like some like flashback stuff where they kind of show like some more like slice of lifey moments, but it was not really until the latter half where I actually feel that connection between those 3, and it's like, okay, yeah, that they are a unit.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely, because I was the same. I'm still kind of the same way, and I was the same way when I watched it, because I want to say they only really knew Yuji for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you could develop a bond between that, and obviously
especially in extreme situations.
Yeah, and obviously they did, because Nobara was secretly crying, but like.
But like narratively, it is kind of cheap to just be like, oh, these people are friends without showing
us how they're friends. Yeah, no.
And, but then later on it gets rectified because you actually see that. That's one of the reasons why I really love the baseball episode.
Yeah, that's actually one of the huge like payoffs and build up is their friendship, because like later on you'll get to see more and more of it, and it's really just nice.
And plus, just as a viewer, it's always super satisfying when anime talk about teamwork, you actually get to see it visually demonstrated when like you see like the main crew like whip shit together as like a cohesive team. And like when Nobara, like I said before, Nobara and Yuji had their team up fight with the Cursed Wound Brothers, like that was super satisfying.
Oh yeah, it was super sick. And I know like adding more of that in towards the beginning would probably halt the pace.
Maybe had maybe had a bit more like a monster to week sort of feel, to sort of to build that up a little bit more, but also I can
or
see
maybe
how
like have like an extra episode to get into that.
But overall, like, not as many, very few like criticisms. I guess like of a criticism, I do kind of feel like Yuji's whole thing of like kind of wanting to be there for people when they die, to give them quote a proper death. I kind of feel like that point just got a little redundant. But I do think
I can see that.
It's still, there was still an emotional payoff when he failed to do that with Junpei. That to me, that landed, because like even though that's kind of said it ad nauseum, for him to sort of to fail Junpei in that way, to realize that what he may have been saying may have been a bit hollow, because like he's never really had to lose like that before. Granted, they scared off Mahito and sort of like won, quote, but still there was still a lot of repercussions from that fight, and then the casualties, Junpei being one of them. And I still feel like his failure to save him, that was still a successful thing narratively to really show like his pain.
Yeah, and one of the big tropes of shonen, one of the ones I'm not super fan of, is we can save this villain who's like super fucking evil, like how like in Naruto, for instance, when they introduce Gaara, he is this like fucking like sociopath. And then, like, Naruto just whoops his ass, and then he's fine. Like, and I get, like, especially for shows aimed at young kids, you need to be careful with these types of messages. Like, you have to be, try to find the hard way. Try to find a way to not, hurt or kill the opponent.
With I like the way Naruto did the Gaara situation, because Gaara was being manipulated into it by the authorities.
I mean, yeah, but
after the fact, we learned that Gaara was manipulated his whole life, and like the whole thing of like redemption is a very powerful thing. But unfortunately, it's not just exclusive to Naruto or anime. It's like how redemption is sort of handled in a lot of stories narratively is sort of like when you kind of apply it to real world is really not well done, because like somebody did something really shitty, like killed a bunch of people, they got their ass kicked, or they said I'm sorry. That's not really like a sufficient thing to their crimes.
This is a little bit of like Steven Universe spoilers, but I know a lot of people were really upset with how the first part of that show went.
Be careful. I mean, I don't want spoilers for that.
You still have not caught up?
No, I've been busy reading manga and everything else.
Have you watched the first part?
I've watched the first 3 seasons.
Okay, never mind. I will not say anymore. Yeah. That kind of like stopped me. I thought we'd all seen it.
Getting back on that track, how like redemption sort of messily handled, like Sasuke did a lot of fucked up shit, and he faced no repercussion for his crime.
And Sasuke's a shit fucking character. I hate Sasuke with the fucking passion.
Sasuke's my favorite character.
I'm sorry. I just cannot stand Sasuke.
But like in that same way, shit, now I lost my train of thought.
It is almost 1 o'clock, so
I have my train of thought. There is a clear distinction in Jujutsu Kaisen between humans and the curses. Now, there can be evil humans, of course, but the curses, for the most part, they're evil. They're just straight up evil. There's no redemption for them.
And like I said before, like you kind of don't want to do this with like anything aimed at kids, which this is kind of that way. Where, it'd be like, some people do deserve to fucking die.
I mean, there is a distinction that, like, the cursed spirits, like, they're, like, literally the embodiment of negative thoughts and evil thoughts. So, like, for them to sort of, like, extend, like, this sort of olive branch to them isn't really congruent. And it's different than, say, like, maybe Demon Slayer, where I think Condor is a very successful, empathetic hero. And so like when his heart breaks for the bad guy, I don't feel like he's cutting them a check where he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people, they were like, you see their trauma and they sort of understand that a sliver of humanity. Because most of them were human who were just transmogrified through some tragedy in their life. Well, of course, tragedy doesn't overcome your crimes, but
it's like feelings are valid, but actions based on those feelings may or may not be valid.
But I feel like them not empathizing or humanizing the bad guys because they are literally embodiment of evil is sort of, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and I think like Yuji's sort of arc in this season being like, there are just some people you can't save, and you kind of just have to deal with it.
Yeah, and I will say though, you do see something different though with the three death painting brothers. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit more ambiguity there, which I really liked because because I mean when Yuji essentially kills them, he's just like, there's the moment right before he lands the final killing blow, he's just like, sorry, and
because they were human bodies that were implanted with this demon seed.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I'm just killing this evil spirit and it just withers away. That was a person at one point that was sort of, without their consent, turned into this monster.
Which is the same as him.
And that's the thing too, is that these guys, these death womb paintings, like I said, we kind of get some ambiguity there because originally when we see Kichizu, Esu, and Choso, they're like, we should side with the cursed spirits because it'd be more befitting it'd be more beneficial for us. And we see like with that, it's like that's not wholly evil because I mean really it would be more better for them because if they didn't, they would most likely be killed because the Jujutsu world sees them as a threat rather than as beings, and they didn't have a choice in that matter because we get a little bit of history here, and I don't know if anybody caught this. There's two Noritoshi Kamos. There was the one that we were introduced, and then there was one that was considered the most vile Jujutsu sorcerer in human history, which he was in the Meiji era, Noritoshi Kamo. And the reason why there's another one is because they kind of just named him that to maybe like put a better name.
Because I noticed that. I was like, okay, like that guy must be named after him.
Yeah, because there was the Noritoshi Kamo, the most vile sorcerer. He impregnated a woman 9 times and then aborted her 9 times.
Because somehow she was a human woman that could bear like a demon's child.
Yeah, and he was like, super fucking curious, really fucked up. And, they didn't have a say in that. So they became the Cursed Womb Death Paintings.
Which is an interesting name for what they are. Cursed Womb Death Paintings.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that yet.
I was picturing just straight up paintings like the Mona Lisa.
That's what I was thinking.
It's just like the Mona Lisa with like fangs and red eyes. That'd be a good bit too. There's like the lads pitch a crazy anime where they have to fight like classic works of art and to fight the evil demons in them.
Fuck.
The final battle is what's that fucking painting? The guy eating the
Saturn devouring his son.
Yeah. That makes me.
I don't even know if that would be the final battle. I think the final battle would be some abstract shit, man.
It would be the painting that's like the French picnic area, and the guy's walking his dog. And there's it's a bunch of people in one.
Oh, you're talking about evening in the park or something?
Yeah,
the pointillism one.
It'd be that one, and the final boss is secretly everyone.
Or like Hieronymus Bosch or some shit.
I was gonna say something like fucking shit. I cannot remember.
Declaration of
It's just a fucking color.
Like Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of colors. You go into it and it's just like just getting beat up by colors.
If it was a Kojima game, it would be the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and you would fight the founding fathers.
Oh, you know what?
Well, they're all cyborgs.
Don't feel bad.
They're all voiced by David Hayter.
But
I would buy the fuck out of that.
I would not feel bad about fighting them because they're all fucking slave masters. So
let's get into it.
Yeah,
Kojima, hit us up. We won't fund you, but we'll encourage you.
We'll encourage you.
We'll write those ideas down to come back to him for a rainy day.
Please.
Metal Gear.
All right. We sort of ran the gamut with the with Juju today. What are some of our sort of last feelings that we want to touch on before we tie it off for tonight?
Kokusen, Black Flash, crazy shit. Yeah, when the way they explained it in the show was like a complete misunderstanding of the actual power of the move, because it's essentially when you're pulling it off, especially Yuji, he's essentially punching in like supersonic speed, and Tanner explained it better, but it says it's like 2.5 times stronger than the average. It's like 2 times more powerful than the average move or whatever, but that's not true. It's to the power of 2.5, so it's like
1,000 times 1,000 times 500,
and it's like it's an insanely big number. It's super powerful, and every time Yuji pulls it off, it's absolutely beautiful and insane. And then Nobara pulls it off, which was what Pat was mentioning, and it was so fucking sick. Hype.
Because like it's usually is how manga goes, manga and anime, like you usually don't see like the girl character have a level of power that's close to the main character. So when she fucking hits the goddamn Black Flash on the demon painting brother, I was like, fuck. And then when she does her hairpin move, god damn, that was good shit. Nobara's my bitch. She's the coolest shit.
Yeah, no, she is a cold motherfucker, and I love it.
Queen shit.
Yeah, seriously, it's good shit, man. And I'm like, that was something I love, is that like you get these characters who they're the good guys, and they absolutely look so fucking brutal. Like you have Yuji just pulling up. I couldn't remember what his martial arts he's using is. It's Taito martial arts.
Taito.
Yeah, because he can pull off a knee release, and I was like, fuck, that's crazy. So he's actually doing that. Then you have fucking Megumi looking absolutely insane when he pulls off a domain expansion, which is sick as hell.
Oh my god,
for someone who's like very reserved and sort of like calculated for the most part of the series, like it's sort of like he takes the sacrifice play. For him to sort of say fuck it and let loose to fight that one special grade, he went Joker. He was just like crazy.
It was so good to see that boy grow, and then seeing Nobara just be absolutely fucking cold blooded, looking like a fucking just murderer.
When she's like nailing a pin like through her fucking like main vein.
I remember cringing when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, she's literally nailing herself right now. Why is nobody reacting to this?
I mean, that's a baller shit when she's like, oh, you got your blood in me. Well, you know what my power does? Voodoo shit.
Let's play a game of chicken. Yeah. It's some crazy shit, man.
And plus, I do think it's funny that Megumi went like sicko, because like he literally got his brains bashed out of his head.
Boy has gotten so many head injuries.
That boy got thrown across the goddamn country when he fought Sukuna mode Yuji. Like
I forget about that so much. He gets thrown by Sukuna, he gets thrown by Toto, and then like he gets fucking smashed into the fucking wall by the finger bearer, and it's just like, dude,
that's why he's stacked. His fucking brain got not loose.
Yeah,
God, and it's not just him. The amount of times people should have fucking died in this show, for as much shit as these people eat,
and like, you have to take it on like they're just working on like anime toughness, because like there's no like explanation why they just get thrown around like 10 miles and just like I didn't feel anything, bitch. It's just so like, funny.
Every bone in your body should be broken.
It's just like they're beyond human. So
that's a punch you have to roll with as a viewer.
Yeah.
And I mean, this show is extra even by anime standards.
Yeah.
Because like the whole like fight with that Toto and Yuji had with Hanami, that's some wild shit.
I cannot get over the shit when fucking Yuji does a triple fucking kick in midair. When like, I mean, it's so fast, but like he literally is in the air and he does a triple fucking kick. Like, dude, how do you pull that off? But man, it looks so good.
It's good.
It's like, how do you wind that shit up?
I mean,
in the air.
And then you have Boogie Woogie.
When they doing the clap,
and then.
They were tag teaming the fuck out of Hanami. That was so fucking tight.
And then when they psyched him out, I was like, what?
Fucking fake out. It was good shit. Yeah.
And I love the bit where they're fighting Hanami and she dissolves her like wood board thingy, and then when she shoots her vines down, they like kick off each other in midair. That was good.
That was good teamwork, man. Yeah.
You know what? There's a stellar cast in here. I love them all to death.
Yeah, for real though. And
I've known y'all for 48 hours, but I'd die for any one of y'all.
No, and it's so funny because like when I learned about Toto's technique, I was just like, man, it's so simple but so fucking problematic. It's so disorienting, and I'm like, this is sick. And wow, my god. And then fucking going back to Megumi, I love Megumi so much because I love animals, and like him pulling out the Shikigami, I'm just like, that is my shit right there.
Rip to the white Shikigami dog.
That pissed me off. I was mad.
You're right. I was so fucking sad. I was like, oh my god, the white dog is dead. And then Sukuna kills the snake, and I'm like, stop killing them.
Like
literally, they just introduced the snake, and it's just dead.
It's just gone. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this sucks.
But when the black dog got the white dog energy,
it becomes fucking totality.
Just like fucking werewolf shit.
Oh, it's so fucking good. So, like, nobody's talking about that enough either. It's so much hype. But something that I love that he keeps, he's mentioned it or referenced it 4 fucking times. He keeps unfinishing, or he's not finishing a spell. And I say it all the time. It's Sacred Treasure Swing and Ring, Ape Grip, and then it just cuts off. And I'm just like, what is the boy gonna say? What's he gonna finish?
Like he's got something in his belly that's like really something crazy, because Sukuna's like, I don't give a shit about the mortal world. I'm gonna kill everybody. But there was something that that Megumi is gonna bust out that Sukuna's like, hold on. Like Kombucha Girl. Hold on.
Yeah, no, it's so... Sukuna is very interested in Megumi, and honestly, we don't even know why in the manga either. And that spell, whatever it is it's always Megumi's, like... It's essentially like, suicide. It's like, all right, this is it. Do or die. Or die. And that was a moment I really liked with Gojo, too, was him telling him, the difference between... dying to win and risking death to win, because like completely changed him as a character, changed him later on, and
it definitely made him value his own life more.
And I will, and like that was something too. It's like he's like, be greedier, like go for it, be fucking strong. Like, and I remember there was this artist who was sharing that line and that scene on Twitter, and I was just like, he was using that as like kind of like his hype kind of like motto words for like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking get it. I'm gonna get it with my art. And I'm like, hell yeah, like, yeah, fucking use that. That's good shit. Be greedier. Fucking get it.
I mean, there's a way you can be greedy and it be beneficial to use a person and not to the detriment of someone else.
Exactly. And no, there's actually a fun theory about Sukuna and why he's interested in Megumi. This isn't spoilers for anything because
it's just a theory.
It's just a theory, but they think that maybe Sukuna wants to not essentially inhabit Megumi, but like because he can summon Shikigami, they think that maybe Sukuna wants to become a Shikigami, and so what he'll do is he'll kill off all the other Shikigami and force Megumi to like make a pact with him to revive him, something like that. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, basically like that'd be a way for him to like circumvent maybe Yuji, and then have like he be resurrected.
Yeah, because I don't know, something about using shadow. Using the shadows to create the Shikigami, and maybe that can help him create a body or his shape or form. I don't know, but it was pretty cool from what I read, and I just love Megumi. And
all his like tricks with his moves, like when he summons the new aids with their like lightning wings, paralyze you, then it hits you with all. And when he fucking pulls out the elephant
Banshu, it's fucking like, I think it's like that or something. It's cool as shit. I love the hand signs he does. They're some of them are kind of easy, and then some of them like the elephant are kind of weird.
You're literally doing like the shadow puppet.
Yeah, it's such good shit. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there's symbols on the Shikigami. We haven't seen it on Nui, but there's symbols, and those symbols are references to this very, very old legend in Japanese folklore about the 10 imperial regalia, which are 10 heavenly divine objects that can grant any wish of the user for whatever moment. And his technique is called 10 Shadows.
That is true.
So I thought that was interesting. The actual regalia or the objects aren't actually directly referenced for the creature's abilities. I just thought it was kind of neat because the symbols are pretty fucking spot on.
Well, something I was wondering with the Niue creatures, because there's a Japanese mythological creature called the Niue, but it's essentially like this baboon with like tiger features and a snake for a tail. If this is the same one, it's completely different because Niue is like this masked bird creature.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's like two separate Niue in Japanese mythology, but kind of like that's different from the one I know. But it's still cool shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm trying to think. The one on the frog, Nui Gamma, bottomless well. The symbol on there, I've been drawing it because I think it's one of my favorites. There isn't really much about it, but it's this one right here. That is the symbol for an object known as the Mirror of the Deep. I just really like the name Mirror of the Deep. Like, what the fuck can that do? Like, I don't know. It's just some sick shit, bro.
It's pretty slick. All right, I think we kind of run the gamut on this. If you listen to this and haven't seen Jujutsu, bold move because we just said everything that's happened pretty much.
Yep.
But I think I do want to ask John. What are your feelings with the series? Do you want how hype are you to continue with it?
I'm probably going to read the manga, honestly.
I'm definitely very excited to see where it goes in the anime and the manga because if anything that I've been handed at over the past weekend from Colt, Wenzel, and Tanner, like it goes crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because plus it's a nice change of pace because I haven't watched anime consistently for them just to binge a whole season has been pretty nice.
Well, now the embargo's lifted, so you can watch and read whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the chains are gone. I've been set free.
I plan on reading the manga. I'll probably be caught up probably by next weekend. I have one prediction, and I don't want Wenzel to make a face at all. I predict that Todo's Boogie Woogie is going to be the death of someone important. I feel like I said not to make a face.
No, that's an interesting thing.
I predict that he will use Boogie Woogie to save someone or to swap out people that he doesn't want to die. As in, Itadori is his best friend. He's like, I don't want you to die, so he swaps himself with him. Or he sees Itadori's about to die. He's like, I don't want you to die. Swaps Megumi with him. Which I don't think Megumi is going to be the one that dies before Itadori, but whatever.
Basically, you think something will go wrong with Boogie Woogie.
Oh, for sure. I think Boogie Woogie's going to be the downfall of someone.
Interesting. I can see how it could be exploited by a high-tier villain at some point.
That's my prediction.
No, they'll make a promise you can't keep.
I'm not the writer.
No, I'm talking about you reading it.
Oh, no, I'm definitely going to read it.
Sure.
I've been reading manga constantly.
Have you?
Yes.
He's been buying a lot of manga.
I just deleted the information from your mind. You know what I just replaced it with?
No.
Now you know all different kinds of flavors of pickles.
Judson knew he already knew that.
Yeah. Just swapped it. Boogie Woogie. It's back. The pickle information, I don't know where I got that from.
But thank you all so much for listening to this non-canon file. We hope you enjoyed it. You can listen to any other non-canon files on a special playlist on our SoundCloud. We have all that curated if you just want to go through all of our deep dives and spoiler field topics. They're all in there for you. And plus, in general, you can follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and Spotify. Any RSS feed catcher out there. Be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe on any platform you choose. Let us know how we think about us. Share us with new people. It helps us out. Gets in front of new listeners. Keeps us high in the algorithm. And, of course, we always appreciate you when you do it. You can follow us on our socials on Twitter and Instagram at AYCH Podcast, on Letterboxd and Facebook at All You Can Hear, and Twitch at twitch.tv/All You Can Hear, and YouTube at All You Can Hear. Be sure to follow our spinoff show, Caging Greatness, where we typically review a Nicolas Cage film. We have gotten to the weeds the last few weeks, but we haven't heard anyone complain so far.
It usually goes off the rails. Especially that Drive Angry episode. If y'all have not seen that movie, y'all need to. It's not good, but holy fuck. It's wild.
You'll be screaming how fucking audacious that movie gets.
Fuck.
And it's a good time. Go check them out. And go check out the merch store. It's been Justin's been popping off with some merch ideas and content. So he's working really hard over there, and we appreciate that. And you should go check that out as well. Cajun Greatness on tpublic.com.
Thank you, Justin. Even though it's not my project.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
And lastly, you can follow me, Patrick, on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. At John Lost His Name in my art on Facebook. At John Lost His Name art.
My name is Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIIBOI24 and John Hoodson12 on Letterboxd.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. My name is Cole. Follow me on Twitter at ColeD00. Just do us all a favor and read Vinland Saga. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. I'm Wenzel. You can follow me on Twitter at Wenzbook. You can follow my art Instagram at WhatAWenzy. Check out my link tree. I have links to my Letterboxd, my Goodreads, and stuff in there. Do me a favor and go read Jujutsu Kaisen as well. And also, go curse yourself, Colt.
I don't want to do that.
All right. Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.